I'm Old Sneelock. Welcome to another episode of Old Sneelock's Workshop. In order to get this thing welded, I need to get the oil out of this chamber. This is actually the tank that holds the oil. The cylinder operates inside of it. To get this end cap off, there are 4 bolts. This pivot bolt is what the handle operates on. Then there's a bolt up in the top here, over on the left side and the right side, and one on the bottom right. To get this end bell off, I have to block that cylinder down there on the end because it's going to try and collapse. When I take this off, that's going to shoot out because the spring is actually pushing the ram back inside the cylinder. You'll see that better as I get it out. So, right now, I want to drain the oil out of that tank. Best way to do that is take out the dipstick. The dipstick is right here. The dipstick is right here on the end. Now, I put a bottle down there in the same pan that I used to drain oil out of cars into. But the small jar is supposed to catch the oil, and if any of it runs over, it's going to go into the waste oil that I put oil change oil into. And there it goes, down into the bucket. Now it's just going to keep dribbling away. I thought it would pour out a lot faster than that, but the only vent is on top of that end of the cylinder, so it's not really a good vent. It would have to be on the upper end. But I can leave it set for a while and just drain. No point in running the camera for that, so we'll turn it off and let it go. Well, that's all taken care of. Now I've got that drained. Next thing to happen is removing the bolts that hold on this back cover. But before I do that, there's something I should do first. When I take off the back cover, this is going to try and collapse. So I need to block that so it can't collapse. And I think the best thing to do, looking at my collection of odds and ends, is to take a piece of angle iron. Let's see if I got another one better shaped, better sized. Oh, that's just about perfect. Actually, that is perfect. And I'm going to take this and attach it like that with a tie wrap. Perhaps on this side. Yeah, that'll work. That'll stop that cylinder from retracting back that way because there's a spring inside the tube. By doing that, that'll stop this from sliding back in, and I can take these bolts loose and get those off and take the spring totally out of the picture. And I think that's my best move right now. And I don't have any tie wraps out here in the shop tonight. So when I come out in the morning, because it's 35 degrees right now, and I don't want to light the fire because it's 11:30 at night. But I have the oil drained, and that's a good thing. And I can clamp this down, take these bolts, take these nuts off, let that relax back into the cylinder here. Then I can take this off. Always something, but if you're planning carefully and thinking about it, it eventually works out to your benefit. And all of it is so that I can weld that. Now, could I do this? Could I just take the grinder and grind that off while it's sitting there? Actually, I believe I could. But if I did that and I welded it, I'm going to weld this chamber full of oil. Even though it's got a vent on it, I'm going to weld this chamber full of oil. And by welding it, I'm going to create enough heat in there that I could spontaneously ignite the oil that's inside the tank. Because that's what this is. It's a steel tube that's the frame of the device and also the tank for the oil. Kind of like a hydraulic jack. It's got a reservoir around the outside of the cylinder. But it's going to work. It's going to work well. Doing a lot of thinking on this earthquake because I've got so many other things to do. I can't come out and work on it very often. I get odd minutes from here and there. So I try and take my time when I'm not working on it to think about how I'm going to do the next step. I wouldn't recommend that as the best method for anything, but it seems to be working okay with the earthquake. So I'll be back out here in the morning and give it another shot and see if I can't get this cylinder apart. In the description, I'm going to put a link to the operation that I'm following because I found a guy who was disassembling one of these earthquakes, and it was a real big fluke because it doesn't have earthquake in the name of it. It doesn't talk about anything other than a powerless splitter because there was a break in the seal on the piston, and that meant that the splitter didn't have enough power to do anything, so he took it apart to replace that. But his operation of taking it apart to replace the seal on the piston is going to let me get in there and weld that wedge up without endangering myself. I'll put a link to in the description, and hopefully somebody else will get some use out of this.
This video is not to be viewed by anyone under the age of 13 in the U.S. or 16 in the European Union without the express written permission of the parents or the legal guardians of the underage person. Such written permission must be on file at the local government entity in charge of enforcing the rules and regulations established by the FTC. Anyone violating these terms is admitting by default that they hold harmless the owners and operators of this channel. Any and all questions should be addressed to your local branch of the FTC.